Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we are talking to Mortal Disguise. Check it out. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I'm talking to Rick, Steve, Aaron, Steven, and Jay from Mortal Disguise. How you guys doing?
All right.
Real good.
Excellent. It's great to see you guys. Sadly, I have yet to make it to like a show for you guys, but I definitely love the debut album you guys put out, Abstract Dimensions. It's totally reminding me of like old school, kind of that technical metal, bordering on death metal. That like I think of like Forbidden, Death. Even some like Destruction, and even some elements of Voivod, which I thought was super cool. So I was curious, how did you guys all get together? How did the band Mortal Disguise get started?
Actually, I got a hold of Steve, the drummer. It must have been like late 2018. I suggested we possibly start a project, maybe get something going, try to find some musicians that we felt comfortable with jamming with, and we ended up hooking up. Ended up hooking up with Jay ironically at a Death Angel concert. Death Angel and Overkill was awesome. We met, and we exchanged numbers. And well, I mean, I've known him for a few years before that, but as far as the jamming thing, we discussed the possibilities of jamming, and he come out. We worked on some songs, and it ended up working out. And after that, I hit Aaron up, who used to be in a band called Antisocial Degenerates. And I've also known Aaron since I was a young kid. I mean, I've known Aaron for probably 30 years.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Turned out he liked the material that we were coming up with, and I mean, we all liked the material basically. It took a minute to write enough stuff to at least play a show. Which our first show we only played, I think, maybe 4 or 5 songs and a cover, maybe at Kelly's Bar in Hamtramck. That was with Harry Queen and UDI, I believe.
Oh, cool.
To keep away. It was like a bunch of punk bands, but it was cool though. And, it worked out.
It was all punk bands.
Unfortunately, they closed the venue down. But that was our first show, and that was probably like
September of 2019.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So not too far. I mean, so you. Yeah, because that's what I remember. I thought you guys had gotten together pre-pandemic. Recorded, did some shows, and then boom.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, we played maybe like 3-4 shows, and then COVID hit.
I think we had shows lined up.
We played one show during the COVID, we played at
the Ritz.
The Ritz, yeah.
Right when it was like almost coming out before they like went back down again. When bars had those like weird hours where everything had to be over like by 10,
limited capacity.
Yeah. That was weird.
It was.
Well, yeah, we had a bit of a roadblock going on with that COVID thing as we were starting to try to get things moving.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, the real gipper was we had a show that was actually sold out to open up for Possessed and Pestilence in the Black Mariah, at Harpo's, and this show was sold out. We were so bummed out because they shut everything down a week before the show.
Yeah.
1 week before that show, they shut everything down for what, a year or two?
Yeah.
So it's just terrible.
Oh man.
That
would have been killer.
Yes, it would have. Yes. Oh, wait. We were ready to go.
We're stoked.
For sure. That would have been awesome.
So I'm curious, like, I have my take on the music that you guys are making, but what do each of you feel like? And maybe the question is like, what influenced you? What was your kind of driving influence to make the music that you are making with Mortal Disguise? And we can just go around the horn, and we'll start with Rick.
Chuck, we lost you for a minute.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're back. Totally back.
All right.
And you're louder too. I found the volume.
If you want to start the question over, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. All right. So the question was more about the music of Mortal Disguise and the influences that led you guys to want to play that music. So I was thinking, like, each of you individually, what do you love about the music you're making right now, and what influenced you, or what kind of drove you to want to make that music? So let's start with Rick.
I would say for me personally, when I was a young kid, I was really into Iron Maiden an awful lot. Dave Murray particularly, probably Jimmy Page, definitely, Glenn Tipton, Judas Priest, obviously. And then it progressed into like the crazier stuff, like, back then, which was considered crazier, was like Metallica,
Yeah.
and then I just found the German thrash metal stuff, and then it went into death metal and black metal and so forth, basically. In a nutshell, I guess you could say,
Right. And
And
do
go ahead.
you feel that is there any particular band that you feel like is most exhibited in the music you're making right now?
As far as me personally, I'm very influenced by a band from Florida called Nasty Savage. I've been a huge fan of them for many, many years.
Yeah.
To me, it's just one of them bands where I just love the style of the music. It's just, to me, it's a very inspirational to me.
Cool.
And you say Destruction. I'd have to say Destruction also as well, for sure.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Death, Carcass. I could go on and on with influences. We're not going to go there.
Steve, how about you?
I don't know. Started drumming about age 10. My earlier influence was Beast.
Oh, hello,
What's going
Marlene.
on?
It is, Marlene.
So, Stuart Copeland was a very early influence, Steve Smith from Journey. And then when I discovered metal, obviously, Nickel McBrain. Dave Lombardo is my ultimate number one influencer, as you can
Nice.
probably tell. But there were others along the way as music started changing. Steve Flynn from Atheist with his super duper
Yeah.
technicality. Just every band that was thrash coming out in the mid to late 80s will pretty much influence anything that I'm doing now. And that's my wheelhouse, That's
Yeah.
just my wheelhouse. I'm not a blaster or gravity blast, I'm too old for that, but that's why you can basically tell it's mainly thrash kind of beats,
Yeah. It sounds good though, man. Sounds awesome.
Appreciate it.
Aaron, how about you?
I'm basically into everything.
Yeah.
So I started out years ago. I got into metal, and I had Rick knew we had that band. I had a band he used to come see called Scar with Rod Vandermoss. There was a lot of speed metal, death metal stuff. But I basically like everything from like Johnny Cash to Black Sabbath to Slayer to Sepultura. So, if I had written this album, it would have been completely different. Rick made it completely interesting. Like, I never would have thought some of the risks he came out, I was like, dude, I never, that's like cool with it.
That's awesome.
Sounds pretty sweet. I like that.
Yeah.
I'd have shit, I guess. Bullshit.
We try to keep that interesting,
Yeah,
a little bit
it's-
technical, a little bit progressive, but
yeah,
not
it's-
over the top like a lot of
Yeah.
bands do. Not,
It's like, Jesus, write another song.
we just want to keep things interesting, basically.
Yeah, so that's
Catchy and whatnot,
I see.
I like kidding.
How about you, Jay?
Pretty much everything as well, back to like Judas Priest, Ted Nugent, stuff like that, Alice Cooper, and then you get an 80s thrash, Metallica, Nuclear Assault, Overkill, Death Angel, all that stuff, Slayer. When I first started jamming with these guys, the reason I joined because it just sounded different. You had like these little elements. I couldn't pinpoint what I was hearing, but I liked it. And I'm like, all right, let's see how this works out. And it's really progressed into something cool.
Awesome. And Steven, how about you? Because I love your vocals, man. They're fucking
Oh,
awesome.
thanks.
Yeah,
For this particular project, I pretty much bring in like the early heavy metal roots, the Priest. I love the band Accept.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the bands like about 20 years ago, like Mastodon and Gojira, when they first came out, I was really into that kind of stuff. But a lot of my roots is mostly like punk industrial metal. I love Ministry, Godflesh, Fear Factory. That's the kind of vocals I kind of like grew up on with my metal.
Cool.
So that's kind of what gives me inspiration for sure.
Excellent. So yeah, I know you guys are back to doing shows and stuff, but are you planning to follow up with some more music? What are the plans for Mortal Disguise coming up in the next few months?
Well, we have a show coming up here with 10 bands at the Diesel on Saturday, June 25th. And that should be a good show. We're going on at 10:30 on the main theater stage there. There's a bar stage and then the theater stage. We're going on the theater stage, which is really cool.
Yeah.
After that show, we're going to focus on writing new material. I have the same artist working on artwork for the next release. Brian Thuringer, actually.
Oh, cool.
I mean, you've seen us mention him on Facebook a few times, but the guy's a really great, excellent artist.
Yeah, the cover on that, your first one is fantastic.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
Yeah,
that's probably the best cover I've ever seen.
yeah, he's done work for a couple of other local bands around here too.
I was really surprised.
Where's he from? He's local then?
He lives in Arizona, but he's from Michigan though.
Oh wow,
Right.
cool.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, he did really good work for us.
Brian Rangers is.
Yeah. Anyhow, as far as like new material, we have about 2 songs as a band pretty much musically in the works, and we're going to shoot for like 8 songs on the next release. We're going to take our time this time around and probably go with a different studio even. But like I said, though, that's in the works right now. But after this next show, that's basically what we're primarily going to focus on is writing new material
Cool.
in the next couple months. So yeah, unless some really good gigs get offered to us our way, possibly we'll take them, you know, but we're going to focus on writing, if anything,
Cool.
for the next couple months.
So what is that process like for you guys? Is it like one guy comes up with a riff or something that's an idea and then you kind of run with it do you do it old school, which to me is old school, like everybody gets together in a room, so we start jamming, something starts gelling, you go, oh yeah, that's cool, and you record as you go? Or is it more like somebody goes away, comes up with like pretty much a fleshed out tune, and then the rest of you guys go, oh yeah, I want to tweak this or change tempo or that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that's more like it.
I would say,
It's mainly Rick's brainchild. He comes in with the majority of the risk.
Awesome.
yeah. Well, put it this way, Chuck, you mentioned the band Death. I guess you could say I'm like a hybrid of Chuck Schuldiner, so to speak, because I write primarily the music. And I'm not trying to boast either, but that's just how it goes. I write the majority of the stuff on acoustic. I don't even play it on electric until I'm happy with how the idea comes up with on acoustic. Then I try it out on electric, and if I like the way the riffs sound on electric, not the riffs, but just the song, just the structures, if the arrangements come out good on electric, we go with it. And I don't just say, look, we're doing this. I want everybody's opinion. I want it. And if anybody else has something to throw at the table, we work with it. Like the song Ceremony of Resistance, Aaron wrote probably pretty close to half of the parts of that song.
Even then, me and Rick were still helping each other write our own riffs. Rick's like, oh, you need an extra there. And then out the band, I think the drummer Steve was just like, we do these stops or slow down here. And you were like, had ideas about, what's,
Well, actually,
we do this longer and shit like that.
there's parts of like sometimes when you make a mistake, but it actually sounds cool, so you kind of like the mistake becomes like a part.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Look, that sounded good.
As far as lyrics go, that's basically on Steven. He handles most of the lyrics. I think I might have wrote me a couple measures here and there. But
back to that though, I just want to show like Rick will come up with like the name of the song. I've never done this in other bands.
Yeah.
The name of the song, and it kind of gives me the idea of where to go with it. And he'll come up with a few lyrics too. So
Sometimes,
Oh, really?
yes.
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's like it's where we name the song before I even write one lyric.
And then I kind of give what the name of the song, what he can go with as far as the lyric writing goes.
What's that one? We got the Heathen Curse coming.
Heathen's Curse.
Yeah, that's about a witch trial, right? And I'm gonna go off the top of my head, but I'm gonna make up a story. What he came up with the idea, so it's gonna be like that easy. I like it like that,
Yeah.
I basically throw musical ideas at everybody, and it just gets thrown into a blender, and somehow they form into songs.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It works out really good like this, and if these guys ever want to throw anything on the table, it's great. That's fine.
Yeah, usually it's like every song I think has been a little bit molded by everybody in the band.
Yeah.
Rich got like the big portion, we come and start chipping it away, changing stuff here or there, extending parts, putting extra notes, man. Okay, that riff's not working. You gotta write something different there.
Right.
But for the most
Yeah,
part,
most
everybody
was-
puts in their fair share of
Yeah,
effort
yeah,
as far as this,
yeah.
as far as putting the songs together, the structuring of them and everything. It's a pretty even deal as far as that goes.
Cool.
As far as like
So
songs.
kind of, I think it's really cool, that idea of like, here's here's like, Steven, here's a theme, go for it and flesh that out. I think that's really cool. And so I'm kind of wondering, and it made me think about the cover art. Do you kind of give an overall direction you want the artist to go with? Or do you just say, just come up with something cool?
No. Me and Brian went back and forth on the cover for Abstract Dimensions on how the concept was of what I was looking at as far as the cover.
Yeah.
I could tell you briefly what I come up with. There's a movie called Altered States that came out in I believe it was like the late '80s, a sci-fi movie that I just absolutely enjoyed.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the guy in the movie was experimenting, taking these wild mushrooms,
Yeah.
and he went on this trip, and he somehow put his soul went into the book of Revelations from the Bible, so to speak. So he suddenly saw that eight-eyed, it's a goat or a lamb. I think maybe it's a lamb, and it was hanging on a cross. And that movie just always freaked me out. I thought, man, that would be cool to put that onto an album cover somehow. I explained that to Brian, and he just went with it, and I could not. He just did a stencil of it, and I was blown away.
Awesome.
And I just, add this to it, add that to it, put a little smoke and mist in the background, whatever. And whatever I basically suggested, he interpreted it so cool, and it just came out awesome.
Wow.
And
That's
it's going to be the same kind of idea, but I don't want to give it away yet. But
Yeah,
it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty- yeah.
awesome.
It's
That's
gonna
wild.
be really cool.
Was that movie? So you mentioned Alder States. Was that William Hurt when he was in like kind of like this isolation thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
I would recommend. You want to see a tripped out movie? I'd recommend that to anybody. If you like an old,
Yeah.
it's really bizarre.
Yeah, I remember that movie. It was wild.
If you watch the movie, you will see the seven-eyed lamb
I
hanging
sent
on
you
the
that
cross.
text,
You'll see
man.
it.
I was watching a TV show and it came up. I like took it. They're on the same thing. They're on some psychedelic shit. Someone got drugged. It was Pennyworth, that fucking pre-Batman bullshit show. So I had to picture real quick with my phone. I rewinded and sent Rick. I'm like, look, check it out.
So I was kind of thinking it's like an abstract dimension that he was in from that trip he was on.
Yeah,
So that's where I got the idea, the concept of the whole thing from.
very cool. That's awesome. So we talked a little bit about kind of the origins of the band, and something I like to do a lot on Fans with Bands is talk about like your origin as musicians, and in particular the very first album that you bought. So Jay, how about you? What was the first album you bought, and why did you buy it?
Trying to think here. Oh, it was ZZ Top as Eliminator.
Nice.
I don't know why. Yeah, I dug them, but just trying to get to the store back then when you were a kid was hard enough. Have
Yeah.
enough money or whatever like that.
Oh, I know what it was.
Can't say nothing wrong about Billy Gibbons.
Yeah.
No, hell no. Yeah,
Guitars.
that guy was awesome.
Yeah. He had a band
Yeah.
called Moving Sidewalks, who were also really good. A lot of people don't know about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very
That you mentioned that, Rick. I didn't realize it until I watched that documentary that they had on Netflix. Which was cool.
Yeah, they mentioned that in the movie or in the documentary. Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron, how about you?
I mean, the first one I ever bought me was that Chariots of Fire song, the classical music one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was a kid. I'm the youngest guy here, so I think the first albums I was getting was like Michael Jackson and shit. I was in grade school. Everybody listened to that cat.
Yeah.
Everybody. So, yeah, there was probably some dumb shit. Probably literally like Bon Jovi and Def Leppard.
Steve, how about you?
The first album that's kind of metal, because I've been listening to these guys, because I got when I was a kid, I got Beatles and Beach Boy albums and all that. But the first
Yeah.
album that made me feel more metal was fucking Moving Pictures by Rush. When I heard that album, blew my pants off. I was just like,
Yeah.
that's the shit. That's it
Yeah.
right there. So that's it. That Moving Pictures, yeah.
Awesome. Other Steve.
Well, First one I remember getting, I had a 45 of You Got Another Thing Coming by Priest, because I love that song from the
Nice.
MTV era when they showed videos. And then obviously Police, the Synchronicity album, because that song Synchronicity 2 was always on MTV. And it just pummeled I thought it was one of the heaviest songs at that time because I was young, you know, 10 years old. And then the first record I remember buying with my own money, I want to say it was Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry, and Van Halen.
I still have that album.
And then after that, you know, once I discovered Iron Maiden, that's when the floodgates opened for the sides of metal. So
Excellent.
that's right there.
Rick, how about you?
Honestly, I'd have to say it was Kiss Alive 2.
Nice.
And I was in kindergarten. And I was just blown away by the photos, what they looked like. It was just, as a little kid in kindergarten, just staring at the way they looked was just mind blowing as a little kid. But then I listened to the music, you know, 100,000 Years, some of these songs, you know, Love Gun and all that. It was just Deuce. I mean, the songs back then were just so cool as a young kid.
Yeah.
You know, when I discovered Kiss, it was just Kiss was the thing right there.
I think everybody has a kid.
Yeah, Kiss,
pretty much
everyone
has a
likes
kid.
Kiss.
But yeah, it was the
I
Kiss
agree
Alive
with
album. My
Tyler.
parents, they hid the album on me. They didn't want me listening to it. I the album every chance they got. If they see it somewhere, it would disappear. They'd hide it on me. For one, they didn't want me listening to it. They thought it was satanic, probably. You know, or but it was. Yeah, it was pretty funny. But anyhow, yeah, that was definitely probably my first album for sure.
Me and my buddy out as kids one year for Halloween. You know,
Oh yeah.
you know, when we were kids, like 11, 12 years old or whatever.
Ever fight to be the bass player?
No. No.
No one wanted to be Wayne's, or what's his name?
No, I think I
Paul
was
Stanley.
Catman.
No one wanted to be the fucking star.
Everybody wanted to be really.
Yeah, well, Ace Frehley or
Star
Gene
Child.
Simmons, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
I remember I liked solo Ace Frehley album. I like that a lot too.
Yeah.
At the time back then, yeah. That was
Oh yeah, I remember those the solo albums. I had them. I don't know what the hell I did with them.
I like the Ace one the best.
Yeah, the Ace
I think everybody liked the Ace one the best. I think
Yeah.
that's the one that sold the most too.
Yeah, I can barely remember the Paul Stanley one, but I remember cringing even then as a kid, going,
Yeah.
The posters looked good. They
Yeah.
came with the album.
yeah.
How about the album The Elder? That was just a real cringer album. I was like, all right, I'm not into Kiss anymore. I think I'll listen to Deep Purple or
Creatures of the
something.
Night.
Deep. I love Deep.
I'm trying to remember if it was the guys from maybe it was Centenary, maybe, or shit. Somebody had they like when they were heading to shows, they would listen to like some kind of mixtape they had of Paul Stanley, all the times that he'd do or
I listened to the Centenary one the other day just to hear. Yeah, I remember they were talking about that. They had a mixtape or something. I'd love to hear that.
Me too.
Frost one with Tom G. Warrior, all his oohs and haze. It's on YouTube. It is fucking hilarious. All his oohs and it is great.
That and the isolated vocals of David Lee Roth, you know.
Oh my God. The Running with the Devil one is a fucking nutbuster. It's so fucking funny. It sounds like some drunk guy yelling in an alley or something.
I had not thought of that before, but that is exactly what it is. That one drunk guy that you see in the back. Yeah.
That's where
That's what it sounds like.
they found
Exactly.
him.
He probably
Oh God, that's funny. Another question about kind of origin thing is first concert you went to. So Rick, what was the first concert?
it's kind of a toss up. It was either Jay Giles or the Who.
Oh, I know what it was.
But
Oh,
I think, I'm pretty sure it was the Who's farewell tour, and it was 1983, I believe, or 82.
wow,
It was at the
nice.
Punk Silverdome. The Clash opened up. That was when punk was just hated,
Jump on.
as bad as disco even.
Yeah,
The Clash, they got booed off after 3 songs. Joe Strummer, his Gibson Les Paul, fired it into the crowd, and then all I seen was somebody holding up the headstock of that guitar. A couple minutes later, the guitar got destroyed.
oh
They were
shit.
getting booed so hard, I couldn't believe it. And I thought they sounded good. I was about 13 years old. I thought the Clash sounded great,
Yeah,
but they got really booed off the stage after like maybe 3 to 5 songs. They were booed right off the stage. They said, "Fuck Detroit," walked off the stage. Absolutely phenomenal. And that was the It's Hard tour, I believe it was.
Oh wow. Well,
It was supposed to be a farewell tour.
that's kind of funny because you would think, I mean, because to me the Who have kind of like punk origins. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
it seems like the Clash and the Who would, that's a good mix.
I like the
I think now would be a great show. Maybe back then people would just sit and think the same way.
Yeah, right.
So back then, disco and punk were very well aided by the
'cause
rock.
they did do
people.
kind of a couple disco-ish type songs.
And they did do some
Yeah,
weird
but
things,
every
yeah.
band did. back
Well, they had
then.
these synthetic drums that were just going
Oh,
really
yeah.
loud and abrasive, and I guess maybe that was pissing people off too. But yeah, shortly after that, it was like the Jay Gals and the Motels at Pine Knob, and that was kind of cool. But I mean, I mean, it's very. It didn't take me long to start getting into metal. Put it that way.
Yeah,
Like I heard Iron Maiden Judas pretty shortly after that.
nice.
The Who, and all that. And I just definitely like metal more than like the classic rock stuff.
Yeah. What was your first metal show that you went to? Do you remember?
It's a tough call, really. It might have been like Iron
I
Maiden.
think mine was Halloween.
Nice.
It was probably Halloween.
Halloween,
Maybe.
yeah.
Halloween at the Ritz or something like that, or Seduce. Yeah. As far as metal, because I was so young, I didn't really go to
Oh
play
yeah, I
concerts.
went to
really.
I remember that's probably my first metal show.
Really? Awesome.
In bowling alley.
Well, I remember seeing Halloween at Freedom Hill when it used to be nothing but a hill. It wasn't an amphitheater back then.
Oh, jeez.
It was really just a hill. They called it Freedom Hill. It wasn't even, and we went on the hill and watched Halloween play, and it was really cool.
That's awesome.
15, 16-year-old kid, that was really, really fucking radical.
I remember going to Rock of Ages in Garden City to go buy that
Oh,
album.
Yeah, that was a great store.
Oh, I love going there.
That's right by your house.
It's still a cool store, actually.
Yeah, I haven't been in a while, so I got to go back there and check it out. Because yeah, that used to be the
They don't have-
place
they
for
don't have
metal.
streets there anymore like they used to, but it's still a relatively cool store for anybody. Like if you're a collector of like records, like vinyl or CDs. I mean, they still got a nice selection of music in there for sure.
Yeah, they used to have all those bootleg videos too. Like fuck
Yeah,
ton of
sure.
bootleg videos. Like fuck.
Like cassettes. It'd be like in Vegas rehearsal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, you could have been anybody.
Yeah, too. We had the Snake Pit at 9 Mile
The
and Van
Snake
Dyke.
Pit was the
9
best.
Mile and Van Dyke, the Snake Pit.
John Snake Pit.
Yeah,
Oh.
I still there. If I missed a concert at Blondie's, they would have it on VHS. They'd have it there, and the guy would let us sit there and watch the concerts from
Oh, really?
from
No
Blondie.
shit.
Would bootleg the concerts. They'd film them, and they'd give them to John at Snake Pit to sell to people. But
Oh,
we'd sit
man.
there and watch. We watch Coroner or whatever, or whoever played at Blondie's. They'd have it on video there to watch.
That's awesome.
Videos. We just go in there and watch them. Yeah.
So Steve, how about you? What was your first concert and then first metal concert?
My first concert, I was probably very young, 5 or 6 years old. I was forced to go to see John Denver with my parents.
Excellent.
Yeah, that was your sunshine on my shoulders, whatever you want to say. But Alabama here and there. But then my first metal show that I actually paid my own money for, 1988, AC/DC and LA Guns
Nice.
at Joe Louis Arena.
Nice.
And I was kind of into LA Guns at that time. Not so much the glam scene at that time. I liked GNR and I liked LA Guns.
Yeah.
Some Motley Crue, but LA Guns had that distinctive sound. Like they were just kind of on the edge, and I
Yeah.
was kind of see that one,
I think it was what's his name? Kelly Guns, right?
Tracy Guns.
Tracy Guns, yeah. His guitar sound was cool. I mean, on that first album, it's kind
And
of
Steve Riley was on drums on that first record, who came from Wasp, from Last
right.
Man.
yeah,
Inside the Electric Circus.
yeah,
I think he played that one too.
awesome.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
AC/DC and LA.
Aaron,
If you consider that metal.
Yeah.
If you consider that metal. Now, if it's metal, real
it's heavy.
metal.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Aaron, how about you?
I think it was Metallica. I
Metallica.
don't remember I want to say they just toured for the fuck of it before the Black Album came out. And then the Black Album came out. We got an advanced copy of it. My buddy, we called him Metallica Mike. I remember sitting in the back of his car just going, "This fucking sucks." Like my other
Was that first metal show?
but I think it was before they released the album, so I don't think they did any of the songs like After Justice for All. So I listened to this shit. And after that point, Metallica at that point in my life was probably my favorite band of all time.
Yeah.
From all the Justice for All is all right, but like I liked those, like that was like my Bible voice, like nothing.
Yeah.
Then I remember hearing that advanced copy in my buddy's car. I'm like, "This fucking sucks." Like, he's like, "I walk." I'm like, "Fucking just might take your fucking shitty little CD with me." But use as a coaster, man. I do this. I've seen him play some of the songs live later, and they sound a little bit better. I'm like, why don't you record that version instead of the shitty Bob Rock overproduced bullshit?
Yeah.
You know, they cut the rest of those songs out, and then fuck.
I remember that disappointment as well, man, because I was big into Metallica at that point in time and a bunch of other bands, but went to School Kids in Ann Arbor because they were having like a first listening of it, and they played it. I'm like, fuck. The fuck
I guess
happened?
it opened the industry up for a lot of bands that probably wouldn't have been as big as they got because of that.
Oh, I know, for
You know,
sure.
But that
But that's the argument. I think they're already on that incline, and I
Yeah,
think they could have
maybe.
done anything. They could have taken
Yeah.
Justice for All Part 2 and still been that big, and then maybe fall off the next time and did
I knew a guy- when I was in my army training for my job, this kid, he's younger than me. He thought the Black Album was their first album, and I almost peed on him. Like, dude, you fucking whoa. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, when it came out, I thought it was their first album. Fucking me. I like the early stuff.
Jay, how about you? What was the first concert, first metal concert?
I can't remember the name of the band. I went with church group. I was really young. It's some Christian rock band. I was
Petra.
Petra!
I was bored the whole time.
Striper.
Yeah.
Striper! Oh, I've actually seen Striper.
I saw someone gave me tickets. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go.
They can rip. They rip.
Yeah, they're good musicians.
Yeah. Well, and they actually look like hot chicks on that first album.
But I think the first metal show I went to was actually that Monsters of Rock festival that was at the Silverdome. That was the first time, and that was my first time seeing Metallica.
That was my first time seeing Metallica too.
I should have caught that show.
That was
I got a good first metal show for you guys real quick. Royal Oak Music Theater, Armored Saints, Wasp, and Metallica Ride the Lightning Tour.
Oh my God.
After that, we left to go to the bar to go see Seduce play. I was like, that was the best metal night ever.
Oh my God. That is awesome.
Slayer and Overkill around that time, even that was the Rain and Blood tour, right when Rain and Blood came out. Tom Araya, it was at the Royal Music Theater. And
Oh,
Tom Araya is going, I hope we don't scare you guys too much, but we're going to play you some new stuff. And it was songs from the Rain and Blood album. And it was mind blowing at the time. Yeah, that was with Overkill opening too. Yeah,
I remember hearing Angel Death that first time I had phones.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, what is this?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I was just blown. I couldn't believe it.
It took me a minute to get into Slayer because, some early stuff for me was, as far as heavy stuff, Sabbath, Maiden, and then progressed into Queensryche and Armored Saint, and then got into Angel Witch. I was huge into Angel Witch. But anyway, I was where was I going with that story? Fuck, I can't remember now. I remember. As far as just checking out Metallica and early bands, but it also reminded me of Stephen, when you said you saw Seduce, because I saw those guys at the Second Chance, which is now the Nectarine Ballroom in Ann Arbor, playing some little metal thing, and I'm like, and they were actually like, so David Black is like sitting outside. There used to be a Burger King there. And he's eating a hamburger, sitting in the gutter, basically. He's got the hair out to here, They go, holy shit, you're the guitar player in Seduce. He goes, hey man.
Yeah.
Their hair used to be literally
Oh my
about
God, it
2 or
was
3
like
feet
that
high
high.
with hair
Yeah.
Aquanet. It would literally stick up really high.
Yeah.
Oh, why would they do that?
Poison ain't got nothing to do.
Oh,
No. No. Yeah. Yeah. Chuck Burns. You know, he was the drummer. Fucking.
no. Great musician, by the way, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool dude.
Yeah.
Real nice dude.
Shit. So anyway, so yeah, as far as Steven, so was that your first metal concert?
I can't think of what the first metal concert. I know the first hard rock metal band I ever saw was Rat.
Oh, nice.
I saw them at Pine Knob. They opened up for Billy Squire, and I didn't like Billy Squire at all. So I was just there for the Rat show.
Yeah.
Now, I was kind of blown away. And Cliff Burton did his bass solo. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Crazy. So, do you guys have any like things you have to do right before the show, like pre-show rituals? You like, you know, flip a quarter 5 times or something like that?
Rick and I used to have to drink like a fuck ton of beer, and then Rick went sober. And so I was like, well, you're gonna be sober for the show. I won't drink for the show. So this is the first band I think I played on stage sober in about 20 years.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Because of Rick.
So me quitting drinking rubbed off on these guys in the right way.
Yeah. They quit drinking.
Hey, they tell me the show starts at 11. I drink up until that point, but if it goes on later, I'm like, forget it. You know, that Cadgy Cafe show, it's like we're supposed to go at 11, went at midnight.
No.
If I would have had one more beer, I would have been that singer in the first band. I was so drunk, the first band, he's falling all over, knocking into things. I thought it was a stick, but
Oh, shit.
I guess I kicked him out.
He's probably looking for a new gig now.
Black's first concert was at the FW Hall, and Keith Morrison, they described their band. I read the story as we're like Led Zeppelin. So Keith Morrison was so fucked up. I think it was him. They threw him out before the band could play, so they snuck. Yeah.
I do some stretching with the sticks in my arms to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, I like stretch
But
my fingers.
when I first get there, you
Yeah.
know, if we're playing with other local bands, I like to see if they have shirts available, and I'll go around and buy them. You know,
Yeah.
or who's playing with us. But
Yeah, well-
basically, with drums, I'm setting up most of the time.
Respect.
Yeah, that's pretty much, you know, on my end, setting up. I'll do some stretching with the sticks and the arms. But,
Okay.
you know, when we're playing with other bands, I try to support the other bands, and I like to get the T-shirts that we're playing with. You know,
Yeah.
a couple rum and cokes prior.
Excellent.
You know,
He does it.
Yeah, luckily with this band, we all handle ourselves pretty well. These
Yeah.
guys, I mean, I don't drink, but I mean, these guys drink a little
Yeah,
bit,
we're
but
not
they don't, like
trashed.
past bands I've been in before, there's no problems with indulgence or anything like that,
Oh,
That's
yeah.
probably the only-
which is very cool. you know.
except Aaron likes to masturbate. But other than that, you know,
I'm out there
just kidding, dude.
flipping in a flop, upper jacks, no pants on, all that shit, man.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you just gotta, you know, the tension becomes too much, man. You gotta just knock one off, you know? Christ.
Fuck yeah.
You thought G.G. Allen was bad, eh?
Then you're like totally relaxed. You're like, all right, I can fucking do this now.
Oh yeah. I apologize to the other couple that came on. They can't run fast. It's not, you know, it's not their fault. I can catch really no hands.
No fans. All right, that's fine.
So if you guys could go, anywhere in the world to play a show, where would you like to go? And who would you like to have on the bill with you? Could be anybody, live or dead. Steven.
Steven over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Oh man, I don't know. Geez, that's
that's-
one there.
that's really
Anywhere in the world.
Let's pick
Yeah.
the bottom.
Somewhere over Europe would be sweet at one of those like metal fests. I got a feeling those metal fests over in Europe are the shit. I mean, there's like 50 bands. I know we do it in America and all that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
There's one Ministry's
Maryland.
doing one. There's one coming up right now that I really want to go see. Got a lot of fucking sweet bands. I can't remember the name of it right now, but It's got Alice Cooper's in it. I don't care about Alice Cooper's much. I love his old shit, but
Yeah, that's good. It's not as fun.
his old stuff is great.
Oh yeah. Maybe like a download or Dokken or Vakken or
Dockin.
Rockin' with Dokken and Vakken.
We're trying to get Anvil on the bill to give him a second shot at
They're
that.
playing tonight.
Are they?
Yeah,
No.
they're down to man.
Tomorrow. They're playing tomorrow.
Oh,
Right.
tomorrow?
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
Tonight.
I'm actually I'll be there. So
All right.
yeah.
Documentary.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if I can get down there then. I'll
See,
see
you
if I
know
can
what
get
that
down there.
means? If Chuck's there, that means I'm there too.
So Jay, how about you? Where would you like to play in the world?
Red Rocks Amphitheater.
Oh,
Yeah.
me too.
And that place just beautiful, you know?
Yeah. Have
So,
you ever been there before?
no, I want to go.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Have you, Chuck?
No, that's definitely on the list. I mean, just to go. I do care what show I go to see, but I would definitely
Yeah.
want to go check it out.
Right on.
Aaron, how about you? Where would you like to go jam?
No, fuck them talking bullshit. I'm not going there.
Did they do
Play St. Anger, you know.
Oh my god.
Steve, how about you?
Yeah, the fest be cool and everything, but
Yeah.
being that I grew up with the thrash metal, why not San Francisco and just throw all the
Oh,
thrash
yeah,
bands
yeah.
back?
That's a good answer.
You know, Forbidden Violence.
I'm switching my answer.
All those guys that came up and influenced me. And
Yeah.
Brucey's in even. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. But that'd be sweet.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Rick, how about you?
I would say Sweden. I'd like to go
Nice.
play.
Oh, yeah.
And I could probably name about 50 bands I'd like to play with from Sweden, but I would, I don't know, Edge of Sanity would be cool to play with.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
If you could spawn one to doing something, but or routing the people up to jam with them. But I mean,
Yeah.
Sweden is it for me. I like a lot of bands from Sweden for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another pilgrimage I want to go on. Is go over there. I mean, I don't even know if I'd find a band that I'd want to listen to or that would be playing there, but just to go check it out and see what it's like.
Yeah.
Especially go to because for me, like as far as like getting into death metal, it was at the gates, and so I would like to go see where those guys hung out and
Yes.
Like Stockholm.
yeah.
That would be the city.
Gothenburg or Gothenburg, however you say that.
Lot of bands, a lot of great bands from there.
Yeah.
The
hell yeah.
Tomb.
Yeah, Entombed. Yeah, that was another one that was kind of pivotal, right all in at the same time. Carcass had Heart Workout. I think it was Terminal Spirit Disease came out, and Entombed. I think Left Hand Path maybe, or Wolverine. It was Wolverine Blues around that time. So.
Yeah. I've seen Entombed on that tour actually at the shelter.
Oh,
Or it might have been to live, shoot straight and speak the truth tour. It might have been that one.
nice.
But anyhow, they were really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really badass.
Norway wouldn't be bad to visit the Helvetii,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, Norway or
History with the
Sweden,
black
either
metal,
one.
you
Yeah,
know.
Yeah.
So I like black metal quite a bit too.
same here. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be the fjords that drive that. That you just can feel. I mean, especially the atmospheric black metal. It's like it just rolled right off the fucking ocean and came in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
definitely.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, I was just saying, guys, thank you so much for being on Bands with Bands. I've just got one last question. It's a controversial question that sometimes breaks up bands, so hopefully it won't impact you guys that way.
Don't do it right now. Don't do it.
But here it goes. Pineapple or no pineapple on pizza, Rick?
Yeah.
No pineapple on pizza.
No pineapple.
No,
No.
I'd
no
say-
pineapple for Steve.
Apple and ham is very tasty.
I mean, can I eat it?
I'd say
Yeah,
yes,
but-
pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, I don't give it up.
That's the end of it.
Yeah. I really hate these fucking anyway.
That's your mushrooms all day.
Hey,
on
cancel
pizza.
that gig on the 25th, would you?
That's it. We're done. Oh, awesome. Well, guys, thanks again for being on Fans with Band. I really appreciate it.
Hey,
Thanks,
man.
Chuck.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
thanks a lot, Chuck.
Thank
All
you
right,
for
guys.
having us.
Yeah.
Hails, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
See ya.
Yeah, man.
All right, later, man.
Yep. Thanks to Rick, Steve, Steven, Aaron, and Jay for joining me on this episode of Fans with Bands. It was great to get a chance to talk with Mortal Disguise about all things metal, and in particular their latest album, Abstract Dimensions. Mortal Disguise is working on a new release which should be full of heavy technical riffs. Their next show is coming up on July 31st at the Sanctuary in Hamtramck. See the show notes for all the details and links. These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.